I want to apologize to all my friends, my sisters, my brothers from Tibet.
Even I, just like most of you, branded the Dalai Lama as being a. So I would like to apologize because just like all of you, we saw that one small single clip of the Dalai Lama sticking his tongue out with the headlines put all over the news. The headline, Suck My Tongue. So, in as much as it was disturbing, it turned out to be misleading.
As we see His Holiness hold you and hugged you, so at that time, what do you feel?
You can only feel the positive energy, and I just can't express how good it feels.
Exactly.
And it was a really good experience meeting him, and it was unexpressible how blessed you feel when you get blessed by him. You feel very positive energy, and there's a lot of positive energy in you after you get blessed by him.
Yeah.
Overall, it's a very good experience.
My family was there with me, and all the students who graduated from I Empower Academy of Skills were also present. We're totally blessed to have got these blessings from His Holiness. He came, addressed us in person, taught about peace that the world needs.
So is it your first time visiting the?
Yeah, it's a first.
Dalai Lama is your first time?
Yeah, first time.
So how do you feel now?
We are very happy. We were very excited also to see him, to meet him, to listen him, and we are very blessed. Our kids are very blessed that we met him.
For our community, the Tibetan people who have suffered for 6 decades at the hands of the Chinese government, this week has actually been the most painful of them all experiences. The world has just been so fast to rush to judge without even asking for two things: situational context, cultural context. Did we do any basic research? Did we speak to a Tibetan? It's been a week since that incident, and this is one of the first interviews that I'm doing from mainstream media.
The incident was lost in translation, according to Sunny Sonam, the president of the Regional Tibetan Youth Congress of Toronto, a group that organized a peace and prayer march last weekend in support of the Dalai Lama.
Even our grandparents, right? They show their love and compassion in that way. They will touch their forehead, right? And they will touch, like hug, right? And they will kiss, right? And then the kids demand for more. And the grandpa will be like, I have nothing now. I have nothing to give you. Now what? You want to eat my tongue too? That's the thing.
Sherab Terchin from the Canada-Tibet Committee explains that the Dalai Lama is often playful with people, and as it is not his first language, he speaks broken English, often mixing up words.
The first mainstream media news story around the same came out in NDTV, which is an Indian channel. It used to be a liberal Indian channel till it was completely owned by a particular multi-billionaire, Adani. And their reporting was a complete hash job. They said, this is what the video says. Then they cited two people. And one of the two social media users they cited is one of the far-right activists. So just imagine, a media story that without asking any Tibetan, without asking any views from Office of Tibet, without interviewing any Tibet expert, not a Tibetan, they made up the story.
The Tibetans, the Indians, we come from a tradition where breasts, tongue, these concepts are not sexualized.
I used to see my mother, who was in her 30s, or other young women in their 20s and teens walking around bare-breast after washing their hairs among men, and men would not even notice them. They would only see at women's breasts as source of milk for the babies and nothing sexual. Similarly, I used to play with my grandfather and even with my brothers, touching their heads and nose and playing with their tongues with my tongue. And this was normal play. Similarly now, His Holiness Dalai Lama, who is a grandfather figure, in wide public view with the parents of the child around, was being playful with a child, as he always is playful.
Tibetan cultural expression was, quote, lost in translation.
Come here. Thank you. Thank you. 지금 잘.
Thank you, His Holiness. When I was young, my elder brother, his name was Asanten, we always lived together and played together. And occasionally, some problem. Then you say, my weapon is this one. Thank you. Okay.
What you will see between His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the child is quite frankly exactly how Tibetan elders show affection with a child. It's an exchange that defines Tibetan culture, especially in the years past. I'm not only saying this as a very traveled spiritual leader, I am also saying this as a survivor of childhood sex abuse myself.
Quotes Xi Jinping, who said that wherever the readers are, wherever the viewers are, that is where the propaganda reports must extend their tentacles. That means we should destroy countries through social media. And that is what is happening with TikTok. You can argue how they make sure that in China, children get to see only educational or national based programs, but in United States and rest of the world, they will show girls and nudity and gaming and make children addicted because they want to ruin the younger generation. And this is true. This is a fact.
Can I hug you? It's a question.
Okay, come. Who's here? Then I think finally here also. And son, my tongue. Thank you. Thank you. We are same human brothers, sisters. Thank you. Now, you should look those good human beings who create peace, happiness, should not follow those human beings who always killing other people. You should not look these people.
What this incident does is it puts a massive spotlight on some of the biggest barriers to harmony that we face in this world. Serious cultural differences, serious language barriers, and also the media being deliberately manipulated and weaponized. Regardless of what culture we come from, we project our own culture, our beliefs, our practices, our traditions, our rules, our taboos onto the world, as if it is a given that ours are everyone's and that ours are the true ones and the right ones. To the people of Tibet, it may seem like the world has turned against you right now, not only because they have wrongly accused the man who is essentially a manifestation of the Tibetan nation, but also because they are failing to understand and are, quite frankly, demonizing your cultural practices. I am truly sorry. I need you to know that not all of us in the Western world are so unconscious as to let our projections, our own biases, our own assumptions, run away with the cart, so to speak. And I want you to know that I will not stand for this one. You do not stand alone in this one. I see exactly what is happening here, and the rest of the world needs to see it too. Have a good week.
It turned out that the Dalai Lama, His Holiness, is actually innocent.